What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle. Very excited to be doing run review again for Darkest Dungeon 2. If you want to submit your own runs for critiquing, make sure they're on YouTube and follow some simple guidelines that are in the playlist. The short video is like 5 minutes, so. First one, Derek, longtime viewer, so I'm excited to see how it goes. Actually, I know how it goes. I did this already, but I screwed up the recording and it doesn't work. So now I have to do it again, which is totally fine. I was trying some new settings, to make editing easier, and just screwed up on the simplest thing. So always do tests. Doesn't matter how good you think you are at something, make sure you always do a test. And in this one, Derek talks to us. So I'll be doing a lot of that while we critique. And I think this is a really good example of kind of what the series is looking for. The intent's clear, meets all the guidelines, and it's fun to engage with.
Achievement.
Let me see. I got it back a bit.
Hello, Shuff. Today I'm showing off my run for review. I'm going to be using the Crusader and Duelist in the same party. My goal is to get 5 memories on the both of them to get the Steam achievement.
So yeah, we don't have to necessarily grand slam this. We just need to get 5 memories on the 2 DLC heroes, so we can swap out the back 2, or if they die, it's not a big deal. But we got to keep these 2 alive, and doing it at once is a bit trickier. They don't, they work okay together, but they're not the most synergistic pair.
Here's my team composition and moveset.
We're not going with any paths, which is an odd choice, because there are definitely some that are better than others, like, Banneret is definitely just Wanderer Plus. And this team can throw out some combos, so there is an idea to use Stunning Blow, but this team's just overall pretty mobile. And this is still a great setup for Banneret or Wanderer. Banneret kind of sounds like a back rank path because you can heal in the back and use Zealous to hit the back line. It's still a very phenomenal frontline path because you get access to Bulwark of Faith, which is one of the strongest abilities this character has.
As well as quirks and paths.
The Duelist, Wanderer's fine. And if there's ever consideration for something else, Intrepid doesn't really work here. It's too gambly for an achievement, based on memories. And Antagonist is really good. That's almost Wanderer Plus. That's something I'm going to throw out a lot just to compare how strong a path can be to the base version. But Wanderer is fine. And in terms of the loadouts, if I recall correctly, we don't use Prep too often. So Prep and Feint together are kind of oversaturating, I guess, for stance. It's fine to use both, but in this case that we're going to see, they don't usually play out too well together. The Jester one, we'll see over the course of the run here, because I remember when I did this the first time I looked at it, and I was thinking, we have Ray as a stress healer, so you don't really need Tune. It's either one or the other. Who do you want to give a, different job to? So, it's either run Inspiring Cry on Ray and take off Tune for, Harvest, or it's run Tune on Jester and swap out Cry for something like Stunning Blow, for example. Finale also doesn't get pressed. So it's interesting because now that I've seen it once already and I come back and watch it, I can kind of head these off right at the start because we know how it plays out, or at least I know how it plays out. So Encore is a great move, but we put an early mastery into it, which ends up to not be that useful. We have PD. No Alchemist, and I'm very surprised at the no Indiscriminate Science just because of how good of a button this is. Like, other characters can heal and stuff like that, but PD can get rid of negative tokens, which is very, very powerful. But the reason there's no Alchemist...
We are playing on Denial, just for a quick and dirty showcase of my combat. I will be cutting a lot of the fluff from the video.
I appreciate that.
For example, anytime I'm traveling without explaining why I've chosen certain paths.
Real quick before I forget though, Derek states why they don't use Alchemist. It's because of the HP drop, but me personally, I still think it's worth doing.
Okay, so I already hate this Valley fight. This is already one of the more difficult starting fights I could get.
It's the most annoying for sure.
I want to get rid of the two Widows first. The Woodsman is more threatening than a Gaunt, but I'd rather get rid of these two and deal with some health damage that could be recovered at the inn, rather than get rid of the Woodsman, struggle to do so because of his high HP, and get 5 stress on a character from the two Widows. Not to mention
line of
getting
thinking.
stunned by them.
Yeah, HP is the easiest thing to heal up, especially going to the Valley Inn.
I
but
could
stress
Magnesium Rain on everybody,
is annoying.
and they have quite low burn resist, but they also have low blight resist, and this would be doing 1 more damage on the 2 characters I want to get rid of.
So there's the case to encore this turn as well.
Because this is the starting fight, and I have a target in range that I want deleted immediately, I'm just going to start with a Flash.
So there are 2 ways to go through this. Is with Jester, you can encore PD here, and I think they have like 10 life. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but between one Plague Grenade, I'm actually gonna double check this, between like a Plague Grenade and a Magnesium Rain, if you encore it, they should die. They should only get 1 attack off each. I'm gonna double check real quick. It didn't necessarily feel totally I mean, it's not wrong. There's nothing like wrong here. They're there. You have 13? Widow's so healthy. Okay. Yeah. By oops, I should probably leave the wiki open, but yeah. So by hitting the Widow's, you know, damage over time and mag rain, they're gonna be dead in 3 turns. It's just kind of awkward. We don't have like a rank 4 hit to make this easier. Because if we had a rank 4 hit, then, you know, we could even these out. But now we're just kind of floating damage. Like, we're going to overkill by a lot. Overkilling's not bad, but we're going to overkill by a lot.
I could encore somebody, but if I Razor's Wit, I could get rid of the Widow here and now and set up Reynold to use his
Lance,
Holy Lance on rank 4.
This is actually a really good play.
I get some high damage rolls. They resist the burn, though.
Yeah, if the burn stuck, she was dead. That was actually a really good way to deal with both of them.
Thankfully, not a bad
anyway,
start.
So they only got 1 attack out of the 2 of them, so that's really good to start with.
The Widow's going to die before she can do an action.
So it's noxious.
I'm just going to focus down the Woodsman now.
Alright, we're in... This is a meditate turn.
I'm going to do a meditation since I'm in the aggressive stance.
Yeah, so you get flipped, you still have
because
dodging
my
at
other
riposte
moves,
instead of... Faint would just give you riposte. Encore.
Not really much else to do at this moment.
That's kind of an odd turn. Like, there's nothing super good there.
The Woodsman will waste his turn.
That's ideal.
But he'll get a block totem.
Woodsman just
his
wastes his turn
efforts.
doing stuff. This is a great encore.
I'm going to blind the
here.
Woodsman now. Hopefully he will miss a fell the tree or carve the toy.
That was really smart. Right here.
I'd rather save that combo token for the Crusader's whole smite rather than just ignoring the 20 blight res. So
yeah, so right here, this is a very intelligent thing to do, and it's correct. Preserving the combo token for someone else, and this really, may not seem apparent. You can just, rip a Noxious Blast right here and do damage, but the thing is, just looking at the Woodsman's life at 24, it's almost at half. It's got 2 dots on top of it. So just hitting it with like a mag rain. Actually, hold up. Yeah, we got to count damage here. So if we hit it with a mag rain and the burn sticks, it's taking an extra 2 damage. Possibly 4, depending on if it survives through round 4 to Dustor. How much bonus damage is Smite? 50% on what, 5 to 7, so that's like 7 to 10? That's still more. I was gonna say, would it be more damage to throw a Noxious? I think a Noxious here would be 2 to 3 on hits plus 4 blight, so it's 6 to 7. And if Smite's 7 to 10, it's definitely better here. So it's overall more damage.
Apply a Magnesium Rain.
And the crit.
Just to apply some damage, but also ignore the combo. I'll feint to get back in aggressive.
I was thinking with this, I don't know, because the Woodsman wasted its first turn by guarding, which is fantastic, or its other turn. But if we had disengaged last turn, we could have fleshed it this turn, and it would probably be dead or dying.
Aggressive stance, but also deal some damage and maintain my position. And finally,
8 to 11.
Smite for big damage.
Good old classic red hook rounding.
And just cleaning up this fight now on round 4.
Because what is it? Oh no, I guess it's 2.5 and then 7.5. Go up to 8 and 11. That makes sense.
So
I know in DD1, if it was like 7.1, it would round up all the way. So it'd always go to the nearest number above it, which was interesting. And we're gonna look at some things here. So we have the Wolf Cub synergizes with the Merchant Guild seal, so it's a luxury item, and we get cheaper cost.
In the starting inn, I did not get any food items for the Stagecoach, so no rabbit. I'll just take the Wolf Cub.
Yeah, so if you ever see something like Icebox or a griddle or food barrels, like anything that is a food wagon item, if you see that in your starter inn and you're trying to power game, just buy it and grab rabbits, because that's just going to be the best most of the time that you can do.
Because I found a Merchant's Guild seal, I made sure to purchase this first and then equip it and then purchase the rest of the items in the shop just to maximize my value.
Right, so save some money there. And I guess for any newer players watching this, when you have access to multiple pets, first, the criteria should be whatever you think is going to be fun. You always should have fun, so pick what looks fun. But if you're trying to optimize, you look at what the inn gives you, and you pick your pet based off that. Sometimes it gives you a Merchant Guild seal, so you get the Wolf Cub. Sometimes it gives you like a Surgeon Mixing Kit, so you get a Pliskin or a cat. And other times, it gives you nothing usable. So you get something like the still Pliskin, or, for instance, the Tick. And if you like the Carrion Eater, you can do that too. Like stuff that doesn't need items to function.
And also because Wolf Cub just is a generally good pet.
It is.
Because I'm on Denial, the pet itself isn't extremely important to the run. If this were Resentment or another difficult run, I would most definitely want the rabbit or something else based on my luck in the inn. But for now, Wolf is more than acceptable.
I would even say the wolf's good, you know, long term too. Like if you do any other runs, like the 3 act runs or the 3 regions. I personally don't use food in the first in, just because when the enemies aren't ordained, they're usually not that dangerous in terms of damage and stuff, unless you're gonna do a region 1 lair. Then of course we do that. Or if you're just swimming in food and you want to be safe, then of course go ahead. But I personally don't use food and affinity items in the first in, but we're gonna see Derek do both, and it's just a difference of opinion. Like it still works out pretty well.
Since I'm not running rabbit, I'll just throw food on everyone. Songbook. I'm gonna put crit on Jester and
Yeah,
Duelist.
those would be the best.
Strength on Reynold and Duelist.
Duel's getting all the love. We're looking for a totem target.
I will get rid of nothing,
We've all been there.
and I will make the Crusader slightly happier with everyone else.
So I personally don't usually, as I said, use the affinity items in the first in, and the reason I don't do that is because we may go through the entire region and one pair never gets, you know, an affinity hit, like a -2. And since you start at 9 and 8 is where it starts to have negative impact, I would rather save the whiskey to rebuild some of that affinity at the next in case someone gets like a -4 through node choices. And then also with some of these items that give you buffs like the dartboard and the boxing gloves, region 1 is super short comparatively. And since it's so short, the buffs don't give you the buffs. The buffs don't give you a long, you know, a long time worth of investment. And again, I'm not saying you're throwing by doing that. It's just
When it comes to mastery,
how I feel.
because it's despair, I get, or denial, I get 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the most important one onto meditation.
Yeah.
Um,
Meditation is okay unmastered. Meditation mastered, since you go from dodge to dodge plus, is essentially like a 50% increase. But also, dodge plus is just way more reliable. You know, in the 50%, you know, 25% extra dodge. That's a lot. You know, 25% chance to get hit every time you hit it. You get 3 tokens, which is going to pretty much outlast the next 1 or 2 turns if you're lucky. So you can just have permanent dodge plus. That's solid. So like regular dodge on someone as frail as Duelist is usually not desirable. With these 2 mastery, we're pretty much turning Ray into the dedicated support right away, which isn't necessarily bad. However, I would rather, in this case, move the Inspiring Cry mastery over to Jester for Inspiring Tune as the stress heal. Because Jester has plenty of turns when he's, you know, dancing around doing stuff where he can throw in a tune. Ray's turns are very competitive. You know, you got heal, you have stress heal, you have Lance. So if he's in 3, he's going to have to Lance because he can't do anything besides Lance and Inspiring Cry. Bulwark is still an insane button to hit, so you always want to have time to press that. And then you need Smite to chip in damage. So Ray is a really good character with a lot of good buttons. The issue is for him being so slow, he has to react to everything. So he doesn't get the luxury of, you know, just being ahead and able to pick more advantageous stuff. He has to pretty much fill the gap of where the turn left him, where being able to make those turns less competitive by taking something away, like Inspiring Cry, is a bit more ideal. It evens out the burden, where we're putting a lot on Ray right now to do multiple things. And this is kind of the trap that myself included, a lot of people fall into it with Crusader.
Those are my current 3 that I want right now.
Think of it like this too. With Jester, he hits 3 to 6 without upgraded anything with his 2 attacks here. And Ray smites for 5 to 7 alongside his other stuff. So on the turn where Ray can use Inspiring Cry, would it be worthwhile to do that instead of like a smite and give Jester the stress heal turn? And the thing is too, you don't even have to take off Inspiring Cry. It's okay as it is. And this way, you know, just kind of takes the pressure off him, and you get a mastery back and send it somewhere else.
Those would be like the first 3 I'd want to upgrade over all else. Now I have 2 mastery to spend where I please. I could upgrade my Fade to Black to also apply combo.
It's a good upgrade.
And that would give my Plague Doctor and Crusader more options to use their moves. That,
especially when we're thinking like that, you know, if we gave Jester upgraded Fade to Black and Inspiring Tune, that means Ray has more chances for Smite, and we can even upgrade Smite. We have 5 points.
Utilize the combo token. I could upgrade Plague Grenade to better shred the back row. I could upgrade Holy Lance and really utilize the Crusader in a rank 3 position, not only applying combo.
Since we're not running Banneret, having Ray in the back isn't as ideal. And the other thing too is I would only upgrade Lance if I plan to hit it like 3 out of 4 turns of a regular fight, because most regular fights go about 4 turns. So if I'm not hitting it that often, I don't want to upgrade it personally. But Derek doesn't do that either.
But I think what I'm going to do to even out the mastery spread, I will upgrade Plague Grenade.
Even with the nerf, it's still like an auto pick. It's so crazy.
Encore.
And so the Encore upgrade is the only one I like really disagree with, just because all you do is get a shorter cooldown and Jester doesn't weaken himself, but like who cares? And this is only good this early. Encore's a great mastery. I just prefer it for like region 2-3 mountain, not like right away. Because if it's mastered like this, we have to be pressing it every turn it's up. So we have to hit it, 2-3 times a combat in order to make it worthwhile. But we're going to go through a few combats where we don't press it at all, or we press it once. So the mastery isn't doing anything.
Inspiring Tune would be nice to upgrade, but the other moves take precedence over it.
Yeah, and we have Cry.
I upgrade Inspiring Cry rather than Inspiring Tune, just because of the self -1 stress at any level.
Which is pretty good.
So long as I am able to use this move on a target with 5 or more stress, Crusader will heal himself for 1 stress, even if he's at 1 or any number below 5.
This land is truly barren.
I would like to take Tangle, but the amount of death armor in the Tangle is annoying for my characters right now, because I don't have any execute.
The thing is, too, though, we have some pretty solid damage over time in Plague Doctor. So as far as the death armor goes, we don't really need the execute. We just need to saddle them with Magnesium Rain. And by the time they Death Store, they're just going to drop dead. Unless there's a Knight. Plus, Mag Rain also gets rid of corpses, which really mitigates the issues against the Bishop. And neither of these are bad regions to take right now, because I believe True Evil is minus Flame Drain. And I think the way is lit is to keep the flame over 40, so they're kind of like the same thing. They also both give mastery for the goals. So if this was like, candles, I think this would be a tougher split. But they both give mastery, and it's 1 mastery. both are easy to do. Avoiding the Hoarder, really just don't go that way. It's that simple. I would still take the Tangle. And the reason I would take the Tangle is because Exterminate guarantees a creature den pops up because they want you to clear it. So you get the mastery from the goal. You get the 1 mastery for the creature den from the item. And I think it has a chance, if not a guarantee, of a 3rd. So like, you know, if we get screwed out of every road fight and node fight in terms of mastery, at least we come away with 2 or 3 because of all of this. And all we need is like 2 glimmers and we can keep this over 40 the whole time. It's a short region. So I think we have enough tools to handle the Tangle, especially if we're not doing general. But we can still deal with this too.
So I'm going to take the Sprawl instead.
Another inferno.
Once I upgrade Finale, I'll have Execute, and that'll make Tangle a bit easier.
The bigger deterrent to the Tangle is actually how squishy the team is, because those foot soldiers hit hard. They hit very hard. Like 1 crit for 16, that's very dangerous right now.
Behold.
Did some working out earlier, so I'm still a little winded. And now I'm doing this, which, you know, takes a lot of breath, so a lot of breathing, a lot of water.
The great cities of man.
I'm not a gym rat where I post my photos, I just tell you about them in random videos.
Taking a look at this map, I want to get as much mastery as I can and avoid the Hoarder. I can do so by going Resistance, Lair.
Sorry, real quick. All the region goals, or the hero goals, also line up with this, which is pretty funny.
Question, Assistance, Resistance, Question, Cultist, in.
That is the perfect route for what we have in front of us, so excellent job.
The unknown awaits.
Be a combat heavy region too, even with the cuts.
Despair.
Start with strength on PD. I mean, it's not bad. Just funny. Ooh, the opening lasso.
Measure out your violence.
Unlucky,
and apply it
my
judiciously.
What's strength on
Plague
the
Doctor has
party?
been blinded. Obviously, I want to throw some damage over time onto the Sacrificial. But now that my Plague Doctor's blinded, there's a chance I may not be able to round 1.
You know, this is kind of a weird turn 1 here. And it's actually, it might be feint. Like feint into the flare. Get rid of the dodge and have our strength token for like a riposte. It'd be an efficient turn. Is it the best turn? I'm not sure.
I do have strength tokens. I'm going to utilize them.
The other
On
is to
the
50-50
Immolotist.
into the flare. But that was also really good. So, Jester went first. Ahead of Plague Doctor, I mean. 100%. This is like an encore PD turn. And you can either throw a mag rain to ping out the dodge here. Or you can 50-50 the Plague Grenade on both of these. Because that would be very devastating. It would kill her, the Immolotist, if it hits. Do a lot of damage to this guy before he gets to the front. Actually would kill him outright. If it sticks. But the other good part is, since it's an extra action, Plague Grenade would go on cooldown from the extra action. Then when her real turn comes up, right here, we have to do something else, but then Plague Grenade is off cooldown on round 2. So that's a huge advantage for Encore right now. Or Harvest.
I'm going to get rid of the dodge on the Flare and finish him off with the Crusader.
Which is good. a lot of people are afraid to kill the Flare because that one dodge token, but this dude freaking melts in like 1 or 2 hits, so go for it.
And I'm going to clear the corpse so the Immolatus
This is
cannot heal
dangerous.
with it. Even with the miss, got rid of the blind token, got rid of the corpse, no bonfire or funeral pyre.
I don't care so much about the bonfire here. I care about
That does move
that dude.
this character up 1 more than he could have been. So I'm going to
Because we got rid of the body, so Immolatus wouldn't heal, but we're not killing her. We're not finishing her off. So by using Magrain there, it efficiently got rid of the blind, but the Flare dies, so there's no dodge to get like a bonus type of token efficiency thing. And since we moved the sacrificial up 1 space, we accelerated the clock in when this thing becomes a threat. So it's dangerous on turn 2 now instead of turn 3, which means we can't close this out because we have to deal with this.
I'm going to meditate to apply dodge and repost. And the sacrificial is dead.
We got
with the
lucky
other
that she
3
didn't use that
attacking.
on this guy. Because we're afraid of the funeral pyre healing her and giving her death armor and stuff like that, which would have pulled the party up a little bit. But at the same time, you know, we're in the same situation, but we, you know, couldn't kill either of these on turn 2. And actually, this might die to DOT. But if she used Fire Rises on this guy, then it still would have been a really bad situation.
And there's
so
no
we're still
corpse
gambling
for a funeral pyre. Sadly, this whipper did reach ignited.
It's gonna happen.
So they will be the next target, so that I do not eat a ton of infernal taskmasters.
Natural prelude to action.
Make sure a post.
Going to taunt to
Those are
get back
post killers at
aggressive.
this point.
The Immolatus is up next. I'm going to Razor Wit. Sadly, don't get the kill.
And keep buffing them. Wait, do they? Actually, the shaman doesn't get the heal, right? If it ignites. Double check this. So maybe my fears were a little unfounded. Okay, yeah, they ignited because they heal when they ignite, but not necessarily because of the move itself. So it ended up working out anyway. Yeah, definitely swing into that.
And the dodge makes my Plague Doctor miss. Now this works in my favor. Since the Crusader is immobilized, I can keep my Duelist in rank 2 with a Flash with aggressive, so deal some extra damage.
Stab.
I will lose my dodge, but I'm more than fine with that.
This was an encore turn. We can encore and flesh again and then kill this thing, but it's getting 1 extra turn here.
I do not get the blind, and they live with 1 health.
The importance of killing stuff.
They will die next
Unless
turn.
we're stalling.
In fact, they'll die to this Crusader. So I'm going to use this chance to heal.
Kind of a tough call there. I think considering it crit, definitely should have killed it with flesh encore there. But you know, we're making the most of that situation where we're healing a little bit more than the damage we took. So it's like a kind of net positive.
A calculated generosity.
I don't know. I definitely would have
But a
killed it
welcome
right there.
one Nonetheless.
You can jump scare. It's so much louder.
Surgeon's Table would be good.
The surgeon's table.
I don't have any disease. And the buffed ghouls will be difficult to power through since I don't have a lot of damage output upgrades. I could skip the combat, but I don't like these debuffs. And my team isn't exactly having to retreat at this point. I can't flash or disengage onto rank 4. I'm going to meditate.
Get some defenses.
Going to encore again on Plague Doctor. I'm noticing Plague Doctor and Crusader, if they are in rank 3, are the only people to help get rid of rank 4 enemies.
Yeah.
A slow dissection.
I thankfully land the Blight.
Unavoidable end.
So long as a burn lands on the Urchin from Magrain, I should be able to kill him before he hits me. I dodge the Chomp. And I dodge Carve the Toy.
Worked out very well.
Going to feint to go into offensive stance, aggressive stance.
Give him a gentle poke.
Going to Plague Grenade.
The patient
Urchin's
has
already
like
dead, but I'd like Patient to have more damage over time.
it has 75 blight res, so the chance of that sticking was not high. Although it almost killed it because of
I've
everything
been
else, so it stacked up pretty
Getting
well.
resisted more than I would like,
Now we bulwark.
which could have been resolved with the Alchemist path, but I'd prefer my Plague Doctor have a little higher HP max.
I mean, 75 is still pretty tough to chew
Patient's going to die, so I'm going to smite Woodsman.
through. So I guarantee it would get through there.
Woodsman wastes turn, gets a block. Comboing Woodsman.
Nice. Good flesh.
Flash for extra 30% damage.
Yeah, it's okay to suspend it here. It's almost dead.
Death's Door on Woodsman. Woodsman still has Death
Clean
Armor,
this
though.
up. Oh, we have to stall out, right?
I'm going to simply move my Jester so that the Woodsman does not die and start the next round right after he dies, because none of my other characters can go.
So
I would rather have more characters to do something next turn when the new enemies spawn in.
So how it works in a wave fight like Creature Den is when the final enemy dies, the rest of the enemies spawn in, but they don't get turns. So if you still have, 1, 2, or even ideally 3, maybe even 4 possibly, depending on speed rolls, you'll have a bunch of extra actions to do while they can do nothing. And so this is correct by spacing it out. Even though we took a weakened 5 damage hit, we're now going to go into the second wave where we're going to have multiple actions that the enemy can't do anything about right away. This is a great meditate turn.
For example, I can meditate.
Yeah, just get set up.
Razor's Wit.
Some dodge.
I
Actually,
want to set up a finale for Jester.
I think we played that way too fast.
Dazzle Urchin, don't get anything great, but better than nothing. Going to Ounce of Prevention because Bonesaw is the worst.
Empowered.
I'm going to...
So right here, I mean, it might work out with this. I can't remember if this dies immediately with the Vuln. The Dazzlers are pretty useful, and so I don't know. I would rather hold on to it for a bit longer. This didn't feel like a need on turn 1.
Holy Lance the Urchin.
Yeah, it worked out because we top end on the roll.
Okay, the Dazzle Vuln was very helpful.
Because the other thing too is like it did this turn here, and it gave this thing a buff or whatever. We could have hit this with flesh, and if we stuck a Plague Grenade to it or a Mag Rain or something like that, it would have died right there, and we'd still have the Dazzler.
Fainting.
Incremental.
Those bonesaw hits do a lot of damage.
I don't like that.
Same.
Ooh, through the 25.
I would
Nice.
like for this token stealer to miss. They don't.
Oh, it hits hard.
I don't
Definitely
like
a
the
bulwark
bleed
turn.
res decrease.
So here, the light level, we're still at dim light both times. I don't think the glimmer necessarily did anything.
I don't like the bleed res decrease.
Alright, so we're at dim light, use it, still dim light.
And to hopefully counteract a little bit of the bleed, I'm gonna give myself regen.
I'm just swinging you. You caught me. Playing the other crit token.
I'm gonna apply combo so that I can later finale this patient. Or flash him.
I mean, this is a good use of the combo token right
This
now.
patient's dead. I want to get rid of the corpse.
Agony. By
The Churgeon's already at max health, so giving him regen,
Definition.
I don't see that big of a deal with at this point.
The moveset of the Surgeon also follows a kind of a flowchart, which is interesting. So it'll be like, I think it goes bloodletting. So if there's a disease, he will go to try and remove it. And if there's no disease, then it'll use trepanation, depending on like who needs it. You know, if your hero needs to get hit in the face, then it'll use trepanation. But it'll use the other one if it has like debuffs or whatever. So you can cause it to malpractice, which is pretty fun. And then like if it can't do any of that, it bone saws. So just knowing that, you can really direct where this fight goes, which is actually something really nice. And I think this is an underrated fight because you can do stuff like that. There's a lot of counterplay if you understand the mechanics, which there are a lot of fights in this game. If you understand the mechanic, you still can't do anything about it.
And I don't care to give him more with Holy Lance, so I'm just going to stress heal at this time.
We're not necessarily giving him more with Holy Lance. Holy Lance is like a 4 to 7 plus an extra. What is it? An extra burn? How much HP did it have right here?
And I don't care to give him more with Holy Lance, so I'm just going to
Let me see. It's
going
not.
to stress heal at this time.
Okay, so it had 8 life. Holy Lance does 4 to 7. So we'd have to do 6 or 7 plus stick a burn to kill it. I mean, those are decent odds. It's like a not exactly a 50-50, but maybe like a 40 to kill it there. But it's dead anyway with the riposte, so good targeting, patience,
Meditate for dodge.
always. You see how strong this move is, right? Because
Going to
Duelist gets into a
battlefield to get
loop
rid of
of
this
just being
bleed.
able to keep up permanent riposte as well as a bunch of dodge.
I guess I could Holy Lance Churgeon. It's the only decent move to use.
I don't know if Mag Rain's up or not, but this is a great turn to
I'm going
blind
to
him.
blind the Churgeon. Never mind.
Unfortunate. But with this fight, once he runs out of friends on the board, it's he starts spamming Bonesaw. So if you kill everything, the damage ramps up pretty fast. So another way to do this, ideally, is to leave the Surgeon a friend to waste, time interacting with instead of punching you in the face. So best targets are Widow and Woodsman. The other ones are a little too dangerous to leave around.
I'll
That was a good
disengage
disengage.
to pull him forward.
Yeah. Nice. That bleed's gonna stack up though. Even though he cures his own DOT,
Ounce of prevention once more.
I'm talking about the surgeon.
Cooperation is the key.
It's still okay to hit him with it. That's dangerous.
Didn't
Because now we're
work.
getting like the bleed hat riposte and stuff like that.
I'm going to Encore PD to Battlefield Medicine this big bleed. I don't want Duelists to be in danger.
Right.
I will Smite just to throw in some damage.
I think this could have been anything else. Maybe not Bulwark, because Bulwark would have went through, I think Trepanation ignores block.
I will Smite just to throw in some damage.
But, like, we had a good stress heal target. We had a good self-heal turn. You know, there's a few
Feint
things
to throw in
do.
damage and swap to aggressive. Hold off on healing for now. Apply Noxious Blast for
Ooh,
damage on hit.
It's actually fine.
Thankfully, he resists.
Yeah, this is a 10%.
I will Battlefield Medicine next turn. But he does move again, so I'm going to have to Battlefield heal myself.
Yeah. The only reason Bulwark would have actually been pretty good is because I think it would stop it from bone sawing. And it would hit you instead with Trepanation, but you know, that's not a bleed on hit, and then you still have regen for the follow-up turns. Duel's doing a ton of damage
Thankfully
this
chose
fight, though, with that
Duelist, but if he had
riposte.
chosen Crusader and I hadn't healed, I'd be in Death's Door check, and I don't like that.
Like, the only reason I think it would have been better that other turn to heal first with Crusader is because we still ended up healing, but it would have been a little more just better in terms of setting up the next turn, because we'd have a bunch of health on everyone. Everyone's at like half health at that point. And so if he decides to hit Ray, then we have to do, you know, something defensive. Or if he doesn't, then we have a lot of other options like a boosted smite. This fight's almost over, so
Flash
yeah,
for
you
on
flush
hit
it.
damage. Put him in Death's Door. PD can finish it out.
Yeah. And he's too dangerous to stall against, sadly. That was a very clean fight.
An artifact of
And then there's the hat, which I think Derek puts on, thankfully, because a lot of people
I'm
are
gonna
too
throw
scared of
this
using this.
item on the Crusader.
Yeah.
Because he has taunt. His crit chance is low, except for on Holy Lance. And he's the only character other than Plague Doctor that doesn't have
Pretty sure.
dodge. So the enemies will be more likely to get that bleed applied to them.
Yeah. We even got lucky with the leeches drop, too. Very thankful to not have to see this whole fight. I hate these fights.
I want to take time to stall. So I'm going
Little
to
stalling tutorial.
meditation.
As long as you attack like 2 times, maybe even 1 time. It's 2 in the first game, but not sure about the second game. But yeah, just as long as you throw out a couple
Spread
attacks, you
healing.
can stall indefinitely until there's no more corpses and stuff. It's just a lot of enemies do too much damage to be worth stalling on.
And now I'll finish combat.
a simple variable.
Yeah, if you
easily
can,
resolved.
never feel bad about taking 1 extra turn to like top people up.
Library
I got some commentary I'm gonna save for like the relevant
and
time.
with it, the remains of philosophy, reason, and insight.
It'll be at the boss wave of the fight.
I'm gonna Crow's Feet.
Any being
Get rid of that dodge.
can be brought to heal.
I don't think we had to do that there.
I could
Just saving-
disengage Fade to Black.
Saving some of these combat
Like a
items for the boss would
flash.
have been good. A great target to flesh, though.
I'm gonna disengage Fade to Black, since I don't believe a Flash and Smite would be able to get a kill. I'm going to Plague Grenade.
Nice. Finale rank
I
4?
could Finale, and that would kill something,
Finale rank 4 is perfect.
potentially. It could low roll, however. It would definitely kill this flare, which I'm not opposed to getting rid of. Or I could blind this Gaunt and not get disease, and that sounds better.
The only reason I'm not too afraid of that Gaunt diseasing us right now, which is normally a big concern, is that we just got leeches from Surgeon just now. So if it does happen to hit us with some kind of disease, we're only stuck with it for, you know, like 3-4 more nodes. I think doing damage to this thing would have been way better. Essentially, you're still trying to do the same thing. You're trying to blind the Gaunt so it wastes a turn, which is correct in, like, you know, the strategic sense. A turn-based game, the more turns you get compared to the enemy, the more efficient your turns are compared to the enemy. You're going to win consistently. That's just how it works. But we're using a blind to make a Gaunt waste a turn, where we could have used a finale on the flare to guarantee lose a turn and possibly a follow-up turn. So if this hits us like 2 more times, then we could have stopped a lot of that damage with finale right there.
In fact, I'll kill him.
And we killed it anyway. Now I have to deal with dodge and riposte. It's a duelist advance.
Going to feint on the
corpse, honestly.
Actually, no, I will play.
You can send a flesh.
Crow's feet again to get rid of the dodge and the blind.
Hallmarks of the
And then I'll flash just to kill that enemy.
So doing that is usually it's a smart play. All right, I want a lot of people watching to pick that up. Using a combat item to remove a blind or to remove a token off an enemy, preferably both at the same time, is a very good play. In this instance, I don't think these enemies are putting enough pressure on us to justify doing that. You know, we've used 2 crow's feet that we could have used or saved for the boss, and we just spent them here to get rid of like 2 blinds and 1 or 2 dodges. And we didn't have to do that, especially if we finale'd the flare the previous turn. Especially after like the blind. But actually no, we needed Jester to do it, but yeah. I just think it was more important to guarantee kill the flare than it was to try and mitigate the 5% chance the Gaunt would disease us, especially what we had to use in return.
Both of these enemies can target rank 2, so I'm going to Bulwark to
Sean's
focus
guaranteed
the damage
dead.
on one character.
This is an encore turn.
But I'm also going to fade to black.
Actually, is it an encore turn? I guess, because you could have
This character
encored
will most
the
likely
mag rain
ignite
and then
this
hit it with a
turn.
Noxious Blast. That would have been more damage.
I'm going to mag rain to apply dot on both characters.
Because we're still using mag rain.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
How much does he live by here? It's about 4 more from Noxious. Got a blind though. But we had a ton.
Incremental, but deadly.
Like, we knew where that attack was going. It was either going to cleave or, yeah. This is a funny interaction.
I did not see that.
I guess everyone the first
I
time.
misplayed.
Maybe it's not Derek's first time, but that one always catches people off guard, I should say. And the really silly part is if you use a move that's like back 1 or forward 1, you'll skip over the immobilized target for some reason. But when you try and move, in the case of Plague Doctor, her movement skill is either back 1, forward 1. So she can't even back up to safety, so she has to pass here. That destroy a block token? Huh? Wait, no. They wore off. That's right. Okay. This is turn 3. So she had 2 block at the start and they fell off. I thought there was a quirk. It was a good tune turn.
I'm gonna give my Crusader an extra turn to fix
Well, that's
the
actually a good
positioning,
useful encore too. So you get the...
or rather,
Yeah.
to use the turn to get rid of the immobilize.
No, it doesn't come off.
Okay,
Because it's an extra
immobilize
action.
Lasts a round and not a turn.
Tokens
But it works
and
out anyway.
damage over time don't tick down on extra actions. It's only on turns.
Can make all the difference.
Small distinction. But for some ridiculous reason, stuns don't tick down your cooldowns either, because I don't know if they're considered extra turns or what. I don't know how Red Hook does it, but your cooldowns, if you have 2 and then you get stunned, when you come out of stun, your next turn is still 2 turns, which is honestly silly. It's been in the game for like 4 years. Fire rises. Expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
I'm gonna meditate.
Meditate.
To avoid Pit Fighter.
We're really seeing here, by the way, what I was alluding to before with the upgrades and stuff and the skill selection, specifically on Jester. We're not encoring on turn 1 and then turn 3 or whenever it comes back up. We're not using encore on cooldown. We're also not using finale, and we're also not using tune. So we could have saved this mastery here. This could be harvest, and this could be like battle ballad or something to keep the team in line, and we'd be pumping out a lot more damage and stuff. So, like, this is a great harvest turn. There's been a few other ones too. I just didn't call them out, but like ping off a dodge, hit this dude, and put some bleed on him, kill him in like 1 or 2 turns. Would have been good. The alternative is starting Jester in 1 or 2 as well, so we can preferably 1, so we could finale turn 1. We're not doing that either. It's not mastered, so like unmastered turn 1 finale is not good, but it's there.
I don't want to bulwark just yet because I want them to try and hit the Duelist. I'm going to get rid of the dodge token on the Pit Fighter. I will definitely dazzle. I luck out with a stun and a blind. And I play grenade the back row.
We didn't necessarily have to dazzle that one either. It just delays the accelerant stack by like 1 turn. And possibly makes them miss next turn. Does it even delay it? Does he get 1 a turn or once per action? I can't remember.
I feint to go back into aggressive. I Razor Wit. Any damage over time I apply will kill the Shaman.
Oh, what happened to... I guess our
I'm gonna focus down this Pit Fighter.
play grenade got resisted. You gotta hope for the mag rain.
I'm gonna dazzle him again.
This...
I'll take it.
This is, That was too much of a... Again, we are not in any danger to the point where we should be throwing out Dazzler like that. I close my battle net, but yeah. Like, this fight is not threatening enough to spend 2 Dazzlers that quickly.
I'm going to Mag Rain since...
And I guess this is something to talk about too. A lot of the times, people will hold on to combat items for too long. And they diminish in usefulness. But there are also times where we spend them too quickly. So it's a lot of risk assessment, understanding what the enemy, is capable of and stuff like that. So right now we're trying to play around Pit Fighter, punching people for like 9 damage. And we have 2 dodges to help deal with that. But you can still pick one of these 2 as well. So if we had Taunt and the dodges, that means we guarantee send 2 here. And then we have a chance of still sending stuff this way, because he still gets 2 actions. So I'd rather have, like, bulwarked and try to corral him that way.
Plague Grenade is on cooldown, and I don't want to waste this Vuln.
When they swing into the dodge, though, it looks great. They swing into the riposte, rather.
The aggressive riposte helps mitigate damage.
Like, all of them attacked her this turn.
I'm going to keep applying pressure. Play should be overkill for that character. The Immolatus dies. The Shaman is basically dead. But the Shaman moves after my Jester, and my Jester could kill him. So I'm going to meditate.
It's too good, dude. It's too strong of a button.
Fighter.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. If we had Harvest, we wouldn't have to, like, be doing some of these. We'd have some really efficient cleaves, especially in the Sprawl. Because the Sprawl has the Flare and the Shaman that like to end up in, you know, rank 2, 3. And even the Whipper, to an extent, isn't that tanky. So being able to just, you know, ping them for a little on-hit damage or random combo is never bad. And then also the bleed. I don't think their bleed resist is monstrously high. So there are quite a few times where Harvest would have been a lot better than either of these two buttons here. It's weird. Cleaves weren't super good in DD1, unless everyone had it. You just stack the hell out of it. But because of how tokens work and token interaction, cleaving is reasonably good to have, you know, one or two of. We flesh, we lose our dodges.
Lucky crit. He's on death blow. Soon.
Just ping it.
Nothing I can really do to stall with PD at this time.
And we're dazed. Can't do anything with that either. Notice we're still ending combat at 4 rounds, right? As I said, the average...
I really should not take this boss fight.
The average fight usually lasts about 4 turns. Most of the enemies are probably dead or dying by turn 3, but you can stretch it out to 4 or 5 to stall and heal up and stuff like that. But I made a video on this. So you're always looking for like the 4-turn sweet spot outside of like boss battles. Those go a bit longer. And it's unfortunate that we're skipping this boss here, even though the rewards are not super good.
This signed indenture would really help on my Crusader, because I...
What's funny too is signed indenture giving block when someone moves behind. It's not if Crusader moves himself too. It's not just like he has to Holy Lance or whatever. It's like anytime people get moved around, he gives them block behind them. So with all this dance on the team, it could be pretty helpful.
Use Holy Lance. I don't have Rallying Cry.
Battle Ballad would be another.
And the Enlightening Element would be helpful.
That one's pretty good.
The Unabridged Edition is nice. Not the best, but it is nice. But I don't have the damage output to fight the Librarian at this time.
The thing here is that if we rearranged some of our mastery, maybe put a point into flesh early, then this would have been a little more on the table. And people like to talk about Region 1 layers pretty frequently. The key to a Region 1 lair, outside of rolling like a stacked party or like a memory party, is combat items. Combat items are the biggest factor in almost any lair fight, honestly, because of how powerful they can be, but specifically Region 1 lairs. Because you get like 2 healing salves and something else, and that's enough to power through a lot of the time, especially if you put mastery into damage. And so this is where I was coming from before with the item usage. The Pyrotechnic Dazzler absolutely dumpsters Librarian. Because the random blind, the random stun, the random daze, the speed penalty debuff, all of that is really helpful in dealing with him. They also get rid of blind on yourself and dodge on Librarian. And then we have the Crow's Feet, which also get rid of blind and dodge, the same thing that they were used for previously. And so this fight would have been doable if we had saved those combat items and probably mastered Flesh. Because then Flesh is hitting for, with the upgrade, like the aggressive stance, I think it's like 10 to 13. And we got Plague Grenade, and we have Encore. Like, we could just dump damage into this boss here. So I think we could have did it with those items. However, reward's also not super good, so I understand skipping it.
Not to mention, I don't believe I have the team composition for it.
Well, this team absolutely had the
Plague
comp for it, which is even funnier because with Categorize, Librarian shuffles the party, but he puts them in alphabetical order. Crusader, Duelist, Jester, PD is how this team would categorize. They are immune to Categorize, which is honestly hilarious. So, oh, you can knock books back too with Disengage, right? And Aggressive. Is that how it works in Lay Wanderer? Let me double check. So, Disengage. Yeah, Knockback and Wander. So that would have been pretty fun too. Knock some books behind them and just, pummel them down. Would have been very helpful. But, caution's always advised. So I'm not saying it was necessarily horrible or run ending or something like that to dip out on something challenging.
Doctor and potentially the Crusader, if he was in rank 3, would have the ability to apply damage onto the back row in a speedy enough manner. And even then, that is not ideal.
They revel in debauchery, debasing themselves in the
Lose
face of
money.
the end.
Or take fight. Take the fight. I would say this is a good turn to Flesh.
I'm going to
Set up,
preparation just so I can build up a more powerful flash to one-shot something.
Again, this is a Harvest
I'm
turn.
going to get rid of the dodge token on Skewer Man.
God, Harvest would have been so good.
I have been blinded. My turn has been basically wasted. I'm going to...
I'm not trying to laugh at the misfortune, but like a DD veteran right there. Something absolutely nukes the plan you're trying to do. It's like, I've been blinded. You just move on with your life. It's comforting in a way. That's also a reason that, hindsight 2020 and all that, but Flesh on turn 1 would have been pretty good because these dudes are so brittle that it's okay to just pump damage the whole time. Like, they don't need setup. It's like, yeah, we might one tap one by getting the strength token for next turn, but also just hitting Flesh and then disengage would have done arguably the same or more damage.
Buff up my light.
Although you do get the boosted hit for
And utilize that combo.
the aggressive stance. Nice, perfect.
That Immobilize is very nice. I could flash without consequence, but I'm blinded.
You hit it anyway, just send it 50-50.
Thankfully, I have 2 Immobilize, so I will meditate.
Because we just lost our damage boost here on Flesh. Nice.
I could Inspiring Cry at this point, but I'd rather wait till later to do so.
Yeah, just chip that guy out. The alternative line was to Inspiring Cry and then Finale next turn. It was a Mag Rain. Actually, is it? Because then he goes up front and he can just shotgun you.
Because there are 2 Immobilizes,
This is
if I...
right here. Definitely Encore on Duelist because you can Flesh once and you have the strength hit, and if it misses, you're in aggressive, and then you can Flesh again right after anyway. And kill this guy right away. Or this one.
Razor Wit. I will
But then you hit the crit.
go up to
That looks
rank
stupid.
1. I did not know it did that.
Yeah, the double immobilize. Yep. Immobilize is so goofy. Alright, lose our dodge because it's not mastered.
A slow dissection. An unavoidable end.
No, that's not good at all. Okay, it didn't hit that hard. That move
I made a
with
misplay.
like...
If I had attacked the Whipper instead, my Crusader would have been able to Holy Lance that character to kill them.
Yeah, a lot
Now
of
they can
this...
either Holy Lance a corpse or Inspiring Cry. So I will just Inspiring Cry.
Yeah, something that could have probably been mitigated doing the Encore version leading up to this. Because you could have double fleshed this and killed it, and then you'd have this turn for Holy Lance back there. But that Infernal Beads move or whatever with Ordainment can crit for like 25. It's kind of disgusting how hard that hits. I'm surprised it did so little damage right there. And small little micro thing, I don't know if Derek thought about this or not, but usually with stress heals, it's usually better to stress heal a support instead of a damage dealer. That's because damage dealers tend to have higher crit rates and stuff like that. And in the case of Duelist, she can riposte. So she has more chances to crit and work stress off compared to someone like Plague Doctor. Oh, jeez. Finale, just do it.
That could be funny in Finale.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stall for. Ah! Wait, didn't we have that? I thought Jester had that earlier. Did these come in the wrong order? Was this chopped in the weird order? Yeah, like, look at 23:35 right here.
And
Look, he has it right there. Which I thought it looked strange because I think on the map it was like up here, but we hadn't gone through like this yet. I gotta find out where the hell I was. Repair fight. Oh, there it is, the finale, right? Okay. I thought I was gonna do it again. I landed right on it. Just boom. Please don't jump scare me.
I'd like to keep my
In
gold
the future.
But I'd also like to raise the torch. Thankfully, he didn't also reduce the relationship
The
with
extra
Crusader.
torch is always good. Yeah, see, there's the table up there.
Unfortunately, we have to deal with a
You must survive this
urgent
onslaught
repair.
short-handed.
Good old repair fights.
I'm
Encore.
going to give Plague Doctor an extra turn so I can delete this urchin.
Good, yeah, it's a good flesh turn. Strength,
Get rid of
turn
that.
1.
Widow.
Alright, Mag Rain. Hit the corpse, because
Rid of
why
the
not?
corpse, move him into position 3.
Skipping
He'll
my
still
turn.
be able to do his big attack in position 3.
Oh, we're an aggressive,
But I
right?
can disengage and push the woodsman, so he's forced to do a skulking
Observe the
set,
subject carefully.
but that will disease me.
We'll discover its weaknesses.
Definitely taunt up. Yeah, send
Make
it
the
to Ray.
disease apply onto Crusader.
We're almost out here, so... Oh, this is before we had the...
As he's stealthed, I can't hit him. Focus down woodsman.
Dissection.
Yeah, this is before the surgeon fight, so we don't have the
Unavoidable end.
leeches yet. So still kind of risky,
resist
but necessary.
the stress due to the wolf cub.
Yes. Jester.
Disengage to get rid of a guard token. Fade to black
Again,
for the same
another
reason.
great harvest turn right there. No, PD! It's gonna get another. Unfortunato.
Nothing else to do but smite.
Got him in the kneecap.
Inconvenient.
Is that off cooldown?
Guarded and stealthed.
Look.
I can't hit him unless it was with a cleave. I wish I had harvest right now.
Yeah. Harvest would have been pulling so much.
He's already
weight this fight.
blinded. Might as well combo him.
That was off. Wait, no. Fell the tree. Oh, wait. What the heck? Protect the child and fell the tree have a cooldown of 1.
I can mag rain. It won't prevent the urchin, but
Steady yourself.
Urchin be like, I am inevitable.
urchin's dead, and woodsman I can survive an extra attack from, so I'm just going to stress heal.
Lenity. Grace. Small acts that drive back the darkness.
Gets up, cuts you, back to staring at the
My
doll.
characters are at decent health. Urchin's gonna die right after
Yeah, it's
Sahar,
dead to that, so just
and I
finish
don't
it up.
want...
There's no stalling.
I can't really heal anybody, and I can't stress heal, so I'm just going to end the combat.
All problems
Another
have
micro
a
optimization.
solution.
Go for your highest crit move in that
Even
situation.
big
You
ones.
might get a crit and heal stress. Oh boy, 1 armor. Yay!
I prefer that over loathing, but still.
Alright, meditate turn 1. Then disengage turn 2. Because it doesn't pull yet. It'll be nice to pull. Sorry, I got a center my face here.
I'm going to Flash to move Crusader into 2,
Ooh, I like that.
so that Jester can Razor. Crusader will be in 3, and then Crusader and PD can take care of this Herald.
Okay, I
I hate
dig
the
it.
Heralds more than the other 3 enemies.
Bro, these small resists are hurting so much.
But since the opportunity is arising, I might as well deal some damage to the altar.
Yeah.
He will have to die next after the Herald.
The cultists desperately need a new frontliner, man. The double evangelist is so tired. It
This
just
is a
does
terrible situation.
too much.
This team applies a lot of damage over time. I don't like that.
It's like 20%.
They resist my damage over time. I can ignore that flesh healing for now.
Still meditate just
Disengaging
for the
these targets
defenses.
wouldn't really... Well, I could push this one into rank 3,
Got 40 move
but I'd
res though,
still
it's a
be
bit dangerous.
vulnerable.
Yeah, the riposte healing.
I'm going to meditate so
Yeah.
that Duelist has a better chance of ignoring their cleaves.
Again, just this is another harvest turn. Like, it goes into stealth and you just chop that thing
I'm
down.
going to Encore Plague Doctor.
The Encore's good though. It's never bad to Encore. Ooh.
So that they can just get rid of...
Oh, she didn't have a real turn yet, so Plague Grenade wasn't up. Oh, unfortunate timing. Probably Battlefield Medicine turn. Yeah. Just
I will ounce and hope that it prevents some more bleeding from the non-crit token enemy.
We'll see. I mean, the base ounce almost nullifies the crit bonus anyway, so any critical hit raises a proc chance by 20%. Except I think
Bulwark
Deathblow.
of Faith wouldn't really help me, except... Yeah, it wouldn't help me because if they choose to cleave, they hit both of us. And if I taunt myself, they wouldn't use their single target on my character with dodge. I'm going to just start smiting.
So I still think that's a bulwark turn, just because if they cleave, they're going to trigger the riposte anyway. And you get a little bit of base healing out of it. It also forces this thing to use Clarion Call instead of First Trumpet again, which would be nice. Although, double check if First Trumpet's spammable. I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure. Yeah, there's no cooldown, so we could have slowed that down a little bit, which would have been nice. And even though Duelist has dodge and we want to trigger the riposte, Duelist is also made of tissue paper. So if they get 1 or 2 hits through that dodge, she's, in real trouble. So I still think Bulwark was better there instead of trying to ping off a block token for 3 damage. When by the time we get rid of the backline, these block tokens will naturally fall off unless they just reapplied it. Well, it did Clarion anyway, we got lucky there. It just awkward turns against the Stubble Evangelist, man.
I will feint to get an aggressive stance.
There's the Plague. Hopefully it sticks this time. Bro!
Took 1 round later than I'd like to get rid of Herald.
Yeah. There's the Cleave. We could have had a block token through that. Actually, I think Clarion nukes it. Yeah, it does. Let's see, this
Because
turn
of the
we would have
blind
some
token
regen. Would have been nice.
and my low health, I'm going to use a battlefield heal on myself. Attacking should be what I'm doing, but I
Nah.
had a feeling something like that would happen.
I mean, we could be attacking, of course, but
I should be stress healing, but I'm gonna wait till I only have 1 of these evangelists.
Yeah, I
to
gotta push
do
damage
that
here.
with.
Yeah, just unfortunate resists on that altar. That altar resists like 3 dots. So it really dragged this part of the fight out farther than it needed to be. Although I would be pinging it, because I don't know how much burn it has. It can't be more than 2.
I'm going to push this one, so it has to do Rush Judgment. I'm going to apply more damage over time.
We're really hoping it doesn't
worked.
get
An unavoidable end.
another flesh weaving out.
I missed.
Which I don't think it does, if I remember correctly.
Hopefully, they miss their crit.
It should miss. Datune. There's a case to blind the other one too. Although now she's out of harm's way. Because we just kind of messed up our own riposte there.
My Crusader can get them to Death's Door, and they will die 2 damage
Okay.
over time.
All roads lead to victory. Most of the time. That was very
A
dangerous.
lucky resist on a bleed.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it had flesh waving available for that turn right there. It's only like a 1-turn cooldown. Maybe 2. It's 2. It should have had it available there.
I'm going to do a preparation to make my my flesh larger, and use my other team members to get rid of the block tokens.
Yeah. It's definitely a good blind.
I'm also going to apply another blind.
You could argue it was a good
I
finale
failed,
turn
but still fine.
because
I'm going to take this time to stress heal.
A simple
ideally this thing doesn't get another turn after this. It's taking a lot of DOT. And then there's that. Yeah.
The
That was actually a
riposte
good
ate
finale
my
turn.
strength
We would have
token.
Death Stored it
That's
here
alright.
after that riposte.
All my characters move before this one does, so I feel no problems putting them down to the Death's Door.
But would it have mattered?
And I will stall for the rest of this turn.
It's always difficult to suggest like a different line of
I
play.
would heal here.
When the first one
but
still works
This one's
fine.
lower health and they'd hate me.
I guess I'm just saying it mostly to note those scenarios where it might be better to go the other way.
Scavenge what you can.
What'd we get?
Off once more.
No. Hardened Heart is such a trap. That will kill you with how many
There is nothing for it
damage
now.
over time effects come out. And we're at the mountain now.
What may.
No Tangle. Got a full set of
Tried
positives.
and
Got
tested.
Utopia.
Love to see it.
A bond to be counted on.
The thing here too is a lot of things contribute to a win. You know, good items, good trinkets, good heroes, good quirks, good paths, synergy, good play, all that. I don't think anything snowballs a run harder than like 6 positive relationships. Because when you're handing out dodge plus, strength, stress healing, and sometimes even heals and dot cures every turn on like, you know, all 6 pairs of people, that's insane. Just look at what we get here. A lot of respectful, so a lot of follow-ups, and then dodge and strength on using friendly skills. I should say blessed skills.
Aspiration unites the hopeful.
I'm just stress healing these hopefuls. Aspiration unites the hopeful.
Oh, these are great.
Look at that.
That's
Stress
good.
heal,
That's
dodge,
great.
strength, dodge, strength.
These are
Not that.
great.
Oh, actually, that's pretty good there. Stress heal, stress
These are
heal,
good.
stress heal.
Those are good.
Like, that is nutty.
At last, the great ziggurat. Temple of failure and regret.
I'm reading something too. Red Hook's doing a stream on May 9th. Nice. Another Q&A. Alright. I'm all caught up. I didn't hear Derek talking either, so...
Well, I want the crit and speed on Duelists so she can flash early.
Yeah.
Sadly, I'm outsped.
Yeah, we could have prepped too. That would have been funny. Oh, what do we have mastered now? I gotta see. I'll pick it up as we see all the skills here. Got the finale master. I think we've used, I don't know how many times Tune was used in the Tangle, but I think it was only used once in the Sprawl. Really all Duelist needs for mastery.
Stupendous.
It's kind of dangerous to put Deacon in
Immobilized. Excellent.
the middle, because Weight of the Worlds does a lot of stress, although we have a lot of stress healing affinity. And I think he gets access to Flesh from Bone, which is kind of dangerous too. Is it better to let
Do
him
this
chop
just
you for
a
20
big
damage?
flash on Deacon.
Maybe. Oh yeah, there's nothing good here,
It
huh?
would be wasted, but
I think he's still finale the altar.
yeah, I'm getting unlucky with placements. I'm not
'Cause
really
that-
being able to do.
Because the that looks sick, by the way. The Herald was up here. All it was gonna do was disharmony for like 4 damage, and it was burning, so I might have died to the burn. Actually, what do we do? We mag rain on turn 1? Why didn't we could have play grenaded? That was the only time it was gonna be useful.
What I want.
It's actually still good here.
I'm not thinking well enough for this.
Alright, we're kind of chilling. Hopefully it misses. Oh, it should, right? Yeah, that was a 12.5 chance.
Mm-hmm.
The power of dodge. Is that just the only niche Duelist has? Well, besides
Meditate.
dancing comps.
And preserve the strength.
It's just literally dodge tanking, which is cool. Only her and Grave Robber can do it. Poor Deacon, no damage armor flipping at denial.
I'm gonna do this just so we don't bleed from a flesh from bone.
Is the key.
I would have pushed damage there with Noxious just because we had dodge on the front too. We were very safe from whatever was coming.
This won't kill it, but it's funny.
Death stores him. But yeah, let's say it did stick the bleed through like a dodge plus. You only take one tick of it. It's gonna heal up on the road.
Past is gone. Let it die.
But again, everything worked out. Ooh, damn, he's fast. Got like -3 speed off that trinket and he still
I'm
has
going
5.
to move Reynold back to rank 1 so Sahar can flip.
Did he... I was like, did he have lost in time? No. Thunder. Well, lightning, I guess.
I'm going to move Reynold back to rank 1 so Sahar can flash more often. I think that's why I haven't been able to flash, is because she starts in rank 1.
Yeah.
Collisionist Cathedral.
Unless she has Breacher, she shouldn't be in 1 most of the time. God, I just want to play Duelists now. Like, I enjoy watching people play this game so much. I mean, it's what gets me the most excited to play
The
again.
great denier.
I really want to run Duelists.
By its own command.
No ranged. I'm just gonna laudan him. Why not? I'm gonna give Reynold a strength token and get rid of this melee first, because a lot of my team is melee centered.
Yeah, so depending on your team, you have a lot of melee damage, get rid of the lion first. If for some reason you have a ton of range damage, get rid of this first. The arrows, I still think it's better to get rid of the lion, just because after all these die, you know, they start scooting up to the front, and you need melee skills at that point anyway. There aren't too many range skills that hit 1. So, I don't know. Usually just feels better to get rid of the melee first. My preferred order is usually melee, and then healing, and then range, and then stress. Because they'll hand out buffs and stuff when they start dying. But by the time you kill 1, possibly 2, you desperately need to heal in a lot of cases. So you don't want the healing lock alive to stop you. Oh man. There's also, I forgot about this, there's a theory way back when that these were supposed to be the upcoming characters. You know, people said, oh, it's Vestal right here for the book. This looks like an abomination padlock, so he could be coming next. And then they thought this was Ray's somehow. I guess it seems more appropriate for Man-at-Arms, but like he was already in the game. So just having like, you know, a melee unit, kind of a fierce lion motif. You know, that could be Crusader. And then the arrows, everyone thought it was going to be Arbalest. And you know what's funny is I don't think it was actually planned that way. But we ended up getting Vestal, Abomination, Crusader, and NPC Arbalest. So in a way, it actually kind of came to fruition. Oh, that's a really good hit, yeah. I was so excited my voice cracked. It's such a good hit, dude. Yeah, not much to do here.
I'll
Use the Glimmer.
use the Glimmer of
Yeah,
Hope
get us up to
to
break.
get up to the highest tier of light.
Powered. Emboldened.
Ow! My dodge plus didn't work. Ew. The double blind. Double. There's the melee.
Darn it.
It's fine. Riposte isn't a melee skill.
I'm gonna meditate.
Go ahead.
Get riposte.
You chose poorly, Lion.
The blinds are coming from Duelist Lantern. Lanthorn.
This was a good bulwark turn, why not? Who's texting me?
I'll have PD go twice, because she can take advantage of this the most.
Got doctor's appointment
Malaise,
for my teeth.
measured and steady.
There we go.
Alright. Everything is proceeding apace. Blowing up the lion. About to be done on turn 3. Pretty reasonable. Can't use stress healing. Totally fine. It doesn't... I don't think it blocks bless moves, does it? I don't think it does, so you can still stress heal that way, which is fine. That's honestly fair.
I'm going to feint into aggressive stance.
It's just funny. This is a good turn to heal. Yeah.
Could battle heal. Or I could press the offensive onto the next lock.
The only reason I would look for a heal there is because we're down to 3, so the chance of the heal block comes up a lot more. And this may be the last time we get to heal for a long time.
I think I will continue pressing the offensive for now. I want to set up a big finale on something.
Okay, we hit. That's good. Yep, there it is.
I'm going to disengage so that Reynold doesn't Holy Lance and move Jester out of the way when I Razor's Wood again.
Could use to disengage. It's still usually better to focus fire 1. Because Finale hits everything, so I don't necessarily agree with the damage split here. Unless that arrow one's gonna die right now to DOT. Which I don't think so.
I'm going to apply this.
Just swing on it, right?
Reynold is low.
Or swing on the other one.
Messy, but effective.
I'm going to leave the combo on this
where
lock
are you?
for a big finale.
God, the dodge tanking is so good, though. Alright, we get a turn to heal. So we had to go, like, 2 turns without healing. It's a lot of damage.
I like it. Low roll, but still big damage.
A righteous action.
Feels kind of bad, no crit, but you know what? It did the job. Nice follow-up. Blowing it up.
Now we're just harassing it.
Dude, the dodges were good. They're very good. This fight's pretty much wrapped up. Yeah. Let's close it out. There's no danger. I think a better Bastard's Beacon buff for this thing would have been to give them extra actions as the other locks die.
That's
So
the
you get
end
down
of
to
this
the
run. Thank you very much for watching.
get down to the final one, and then it attacks like 4 times, you know?
I win. That's the end of this run. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to hear your feedback sometime soon. Thank you.
Alright, very clean fight. Well done. Great start to the series. Thank you again, Derek. I'll link the video below if you want to go look and watch, or see if Derek posts something else in the future. But yeah. Overall, pretty clean. You know, a couple things I disagreed with, but honestly, pretty textbook in terms of thinking. So, really great job. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.